People are just making up stories and stories to paint a bad picture of him. And he's not that type of lad. Like, he's a nice lad. If you know him, you know he's a nice lad. Not all these stories make him out to be the person he's not, and it's just horrible, really.
Informative way and a positive way to try and get the authorities to realise that they need to come back and search. I think that's the best strategy ever, Moogie. Mark was in the place and is in the place in the public eye where he could work against the civil guard and get them to go in there. But that is not interested. You know exactly what he's interested in anyway. So what I'm saying there is, Mark, I've pointed out the lies. I've pointed out that you've got nothing. I'm now saying to you, Mark, look, this is the place where he's most likely to be. Just get one more search done in there. It's a 500-metre maximum strip. Literally. It's not even going to take a morning to search it. But no, I didn't get Mark to, see sense, basically. I just got to admit it.
So yes, let's hear the fact there. So you got Mark, who's a detective, who heard what I had to say. Okay, so he did maybe creep back on TV and tell us, because I wanted to know what the weather was like that day. Okay. You also replied, actually, and you said something else in that statement, which was something else I asked you. Why you couldn't have just told me that to my face, I don't know. Why I had to wait for you to make another stupid statement, I don't know. It's your issue. But Mark, at the end of the day, what I told you to do was force civil guard to go down that ravine. The exact place where they found him. Are you running around looking for a crime? But I'd already told you, Mark, you had nothing. All you put out was a gilded version of what everyone already knew. This is what I was saying to Chris in this particular thing, right? Chris has said, look, your plan, what you have planned to do is force civil guard. And me and Chris have been speaking about this for a few days. I've run it through to Chris and said, like, this is what we need to do. This is why we need to do it. And explained a massive strategy that Chris didn't know existed until this particular day. And when Chris realised what the actual strategy was, he couldn't believe, and especially how he keyed perfectly into play. And that is the British soldier aspect. The fact that two British soldiers were about to go and find a British citizen, okay? Chris was almost there, right there, where Jay would have been, okay? He only had to carry on going, but he turned back for his safety because he was warned it's a man trap. Now, I had already told Mark, if anyone goes over that through the V-notch, down into that part of the ravine, it's a man trap. You cannot get back out. He must be somewhere between the V-notch and the next block that he comes to. What I'd actually said to Chris is, look, if he goes down that V-notch, I said he'd slide down into it. Once he's in it, I said, then he can't get back up. And once he can't get back up because of his trainers and all the rest of it, it's too steep and slippery and dusty, I said he won't get back up. And if you can't get back up, that leaves him one option. And that one option is to go forward. And forward is down the ravine again. And down he goes. And when he goes down, he comes to another drop. And when he looks over, it's like, wow, well, I can't get down there. And so the only option is to try and climb out the ravine. So he goes back. I reckon he went back a little bit. Knowing that he couldn't go forward, he had to come back. He would have come back until a point where he could actually climb his way back out.
So yeah, I've just arrived back home. What we've tried to do with the map, which we're going to share with all of you guys who've got an interest in Jay and helping to find Jay, is we've approached this using the facts and in a sober-minded way and not deviating from the facts. We've not got involved in conspiracy theories. We don't want to do that because we don't want to potentially ruin innocent people's lives. I'm not a detective, never professed to be one. I'm not a mountaineer. I was a volunteer that responded to a call from the Guardia Civil to go up and help, and on the day I went up and helped, the search was cancelled. I'm just a concerned citizen, and I was doing this to try and help find Jay for his family. Now, in the videos that we're going to put up, and thanks for the whole team and everyone who's helped from afar and everyone who's helped up close and personal, especially Adrian, especially Luggy. Guys, we couldn't have done, no, this was our team effort. And what we've done is we've created our plan based on the information we had in front of us. Once we had our plan based on the evidence and the facts, we've spent 5 times more time research and analysing and using the process of elimination to really home in our plan like a laser guided target. So when we put boots on the ground, we're not wandering through the mountains aimlessly, we're visiting specific spots. Now, what you'll see in the videos is a series of decisions that Jay would have had to take. And once he's come off road, that was a mistake. I've been up there today with 4.5 litres of liquid and all the correct hiking gear. Jay was in shorts and a t-shirt and trainers. He was hungry, he wanted to go and get some scran, and he had no water on him. He would have dehydrated really quickly. I was prepared, Jay wasn't. So keep that in mind when you look at all the videos. Put yourself in the mindset of Jay. What would he have done in that situation? What would you have done in that situation? At every key step, every key decision point. And I think what you'll find is Jay went off-road, which was a mistake. You'll see the area of the phone ping. You'll see it's one of the only areas you can sit. Then he's gone to the RP point, which we'll put the maps up so you can see it. At the point where he's gone off the RP point, you're now in the ravine. And when you get to the ravine, you come to the V point at the bottom. Once you get to that, there's no coming back. There's no coming back. It's a man trap. If Jay's got that far, remember, all he's got no fluids, he's got no phone, he's got no communication, he's in a strange place. Now he's lost, and now he's scared. No one in the world there to help him. And at that point, he finds himself in a man trap. The only thing he's got now is survival instinct. And his survival instinct is gravity. Gravity's going to keep taking him down. Remember, he wasn't climbing mountains, he was going down them. And he was heading for the coast. Now, unless the Guardia Civil or the Spanish military are going to put on another search and really search the areas that we're going to post, then my belief is one day someone else, a hiker, will get in trouble in that barranco, in that ravine, and they'll have to be saved. And only when people go into it again with a search party, I think, are we going to find Jay. Let's say he was lucky and he managed to get through it all against all the odds, and he got to the beach. Even when he got to the beach, it's like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean. There's no access to the beach, only by that barranco or by boat. Jay has made a series of mistakes, not knowing the consequences of those decisions. Jay is stuck somewhere in that barranco, in that mountain, lost. One day he'll be found.
Like I say, the heat exhausts you. He would have been in survival mode and just desperately trying to head for the coast. Unfortunately, he was completely unaware of what was ahead of him. But I also was unaware, and this is why we used simulation. We used LiDAR tracking systems. so that we knew what was ahead of us, or what was ahead of myself walking down there. And unfortunately, you get to a point where it's a man trap. You're trapped down there, and the only way for Jay to have gotten out was to just keep heading for that coast. And unfortunately,
the emotional damp burdened on the lads that were in the team was immense. I did say it, but you didn't actually know quite how hard hitting it really was. But you've got to remember that all of us had to think in the mind of a 19-year-old person, so carefree. And what he didn't realise is that he was walking into a man trap. He was walking to his unfortunate final hours, final minutes. When we were following him in our minds, remember, we know where he's going and what it ends up like. With every single metre forward, you're 1 metre closer to where you think, and possibly almost a very high possibility that is exactly where you're going to find him. So with every metre forward, are you going to see him? That is what was going through Chris's mind and Adrian's mind when they were down there. So them men were really, really tough. And you see them men, they broke down the day later. They broke down that evening. They were absolutely bust to pieces because they could see 100% that civil guard, Spanish government, had let that boy down. That this is 100% most likely what he had done via this strategy, via this plan of actually tracking him. Now, these boys were absolutely cut to bits, and yet what did the trolls want to do? What the other content creators want to do? Something really, really cruel, and let's go after them. That's why I've had to come out and say, look, this is actually how it happened, all right? And tell you trolls, look, come after me, because I've got the 20 years experience of social media, blah, 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 all the rest of it. That's why the strategy is against you all, and you never saw it. So the strategy isn't just about finding Jay. It's about forcing a government, and it's about controlling the idiotic behaviour of some content creators who think it's the right thing to do, okay, to create absolute rubbish content, send trolls to those who's trying to find the truth, just for their agenda, and that is for them to make revenue. So what I'm saying to the public that listen to this message is, please stand up against them, because the world will be a lot better place if they're not about. Now, there's only one way to do that. You sort that out in your own heads. Where's Luggy today? I'm out at sea. I'm relaxing.
For those wondering why Luggy is not answering questions today, it's because Luggy's at sea.
If upon analysis of the facts and evidence, an intelligent man can eliminate all the possible explanations, then an intelligent man must surmise that which he has yet considered impossible to be the only possible explanation. But is it bad luck, or something else far more sinister? This one always goes wrong. It's not the end for them, and it doesn't put them out of business. It doesn't always get them nicked, because it's the one they didn't want to fail that always does. Why is it that all these